Seller confidence returns to greet seasonal demand. On this video, we're bringing you an update on market stats, housing prices, housing inventory, and mortgage rates to keep you up to date with the Florida real estate market, and then I compare it to what's happening locally right here in Naples, Florida. Let's jump right into the report. What's up, everybody? I'm Rob Bosner, a local realtor here in Southwest Florida. If this is your first time on my channel and you want to know everything about eating, sleeping, working, playing, and the real estate market, this is the channel you need to subscribe to. So hit the subscribe button and tap the bell so you're notified every time I drop a new video. Continuing trends from the final few months of last year, Florida's housing market started 2023 with a higher median prices and more inventory or active listings in January compared to a year ago, according to Florida Realtors' latest housing data. Evidence of growing confidence in the Naples real estate market revealed itself in January as a wave of new sellers entered the market during the month. New listings in January rose 74.5% compared to December of 2022 and 3.2% to 1,338 new listings from 1,297 new listings a year ago. The good news is that new listings coming onto the market are evenly split between single family and condos. Inventory in both these areas have doubled since last January, so buyers looking to purchase in either sector of this year will have more options to choose from. High mortgage rates are not only affecting homebuyers, they're also discouraging some potential sellers from listing their homes for sale as well, particularly those who would be selling their primary residence and would therefore have to finance their next home at these new higher rates. As a result, the Florida market saw the level of new listings we've been seeing in recent months has been below normal, and that trend continued into January. New listings of existing single-family homes for sale were down 4.8% compared to a year ago. Over in the townhouse and condo category, the year-over-year decline in new listings was more of a modest 2.4%. It's important to remember that while these high interest rates are discouraging some potential sellers from listing their homes for sale, that's not the case for all sellers. That's pretty interesting that statewide new listings were down 3.6%, but the Naples market actually had a 3.2% increase in new listing inventory. Inflation and still rising interest rates above 6% continue to erode buyer demand. Closed sales of single-family homes statewide last month totaled 14,766, down 32.5% year over year, while existing condo townhouse sales totaled 6,078, which is down 40.7% from January of 22, according to Florida Realtors. Closed sales may occur from 30 to 90 days after a sales contract is written. According to Florida Realtors chief economist Dr. Brad O'Connor, the decline in sales is not surprising since interest rates remain twice as high as they were a year ago. However, he noted the January drop in sales is the smallest year-over-year decline we have seen since last October. It's also worth noting that the level of closed statewide sales for existing homes and condo townhouse properties in Florida in recent months is tracking just below the level of sales the state experienced 4 years ago, just prior to the pandemic. Let's look at the local market right here in Naples. Closed sales in January decreased 33.8% to 555 homes from 839 homes from January 22. But the spike in new listings is a promising turn of events as they pushed inventory in January up 122.7% to 2,699 properties from 1,212 properties back in January of 22. Now, reviewing the report, I am optimistic to say that it potentially could result in a better than expected winter home buying season due to the higher inventory levels we are seeing. However, on the other end, mortgage rates crossed the 7% threshold in November, reaching more than double a year prior and giving buyers sticker shock. But since the beginning of the year, the 30-year fixed rate mortgage has dialed back to the 6% range, clocking in at 6.5% last week, with less volatile fluctuations. NAR is forecasting that mortgage rates will average 6.1% this year and 5.4% in 2024. Buyers responded to better affordability from falling mortgage rates in December and January, says Chief Economist Lawrence Yen of the National Association of Realtors. An improving interest rate environment, along with recent job gains, is prompting a better outlook for housing. Home sales activity appears to be bottoming out in the first quarter, but annual gain in home sales will not occur until 2024. On an annual basis, contract signings are still down 24.1%, coming off the pandemic-fueled home buying frenzy. In January, the statewide median sales price for single-family existing homes was $389,990. That's up 4% from last year. For condo townhouse units, the median sale price was $310,000, and that's up 8.8% over January of 22. Now let's take a look locally right here in Naples. The rise in home options with our increased inventory did not bring home prices down. In fact, the median close price in Naples rose 11.1% to $600,000, and that's up from $540,000 back in January of 22. Meanwhile, home prices likely will remain steady in most parts of the country, with a minor change expected in the national median home price, suggested Lawrence Yan of the NAR. The NAR is now forecasting the median existing home price to moderate after rapid gains over the previous 2 years. The national median home price is expected to be about $380,100 this year, falling 1.6% compared to the previous year. NAR expects home prices to gain traction again next year, jumping 3.1% to $391,800. That's a national number. When we talk about home prices, one of the things I like to look at is the ratio of active buyers to active sellers, and that's one of the most important factors determining home prices. When this ratio is high, you have widespread bidding wars that drive up prices. That's what we experienced from mid-2022 until the midpoint of last year. With mortgage rates closing out hot demand levels over the course of the past year, that ratio has fallen, and therefore price growth has cooled off. However, because these high mortgage rates have discouraged potential buyers and potential sellers, the shift in the ratio of active buyers to active sellers has only resulted in the slowing of overall home price growth, not a full reversal. While we're seeing positive signs that for sale inventory is beginning to increase in many local markets across the state, we have quite a way to go before we're back to pre-pandemic inventory levels, which keeps upward pressure on prices. Also, it's important to remember that Florida had a shortage of housing supply even before the pandemic. So returning to those levels still means we're falling short of a balanced market for buyers and sellers. Statewide inventory in January was higher than a year ago for both existing single-family homes, and that increased 134.2%, and for condo townhouse units, it was up 90%. The supply of single-family existing homes was at 2.8 month supply, while existing condo townhouse properties were at 3.1 month supply last month. Inventory between December and January grew nearly 10%, with the number of showings nearly doubling in January 2023 compared to December of 2022. Buyers were excited to see new listings come on the market and took advantage of the opportunity as seen by the huge increase in pending sales over the same period. After 7 months of equitable activity, pending sales rebounded as the new year began. In fact, pending sales in January were remarkably higher than pending sales not only in December, which had 682, but also compared to January of 2019, where we had 660, and January of 22, where we had 892. Though compared to last January's phenomenal sales activity, pending sales this January decreased 20.5% to 1,092 pending sales from 1,373 pending sales in January of 22. Pent-up demand was evident in January. While showings decreased 20% compared to January of 22, they nearly doubled compared to December's reported showings. Of course, another factor contributed to increased contracts or pending sales during January, where there were 1,092 price decreases reported for the month, which brought the overall percent of current list price value down to 95.8%, which is a 4.2% decrease from the 100% we saw back in January of 22. According to the report, the only home type that experienced a rise in closed sales during January compared to last year were condominiums in the $500,000 to $1 million price point category, which increased 4.2%. Interestingly, the median close price of single-family homes decreased 2.7% between December and January, but the median close price for condominiums actually increased 6%. Not surprising, due to high demand for properties in the $300,000 and below category, condominiums in this price category had the highest reported median close price increase, 16.1%. And were the only price category that reported a decrease in inventory of 13.1% in January. The pickup in home sales also was felt in the new home market last month. The National Association of Home Builders credited builders sales incentives such as mortgage rate buydowns, paying points for buyers, or even offering price reductions for helping bring home buyers back into the market. 57% of builders have reported using incentives to bolster sales, according to the National Association of Home Builders survey. Buyer incentives, along with stabilizing mortgage rates for the month of January, increased the pace of new home sales for the month. However, in a sign of current market weakness, sales are still down 19.4% compared to a year ago. Homebuyers are finding more available inventory in the new home sector. Completed, ready-to-occupy inventory jumped 115% compared to a year ago, although that comes after particularly low levels in 2022. Ready-to-occupy inventory also only compromises 17% of the total stock of new homes, builders noted. Thank you for watching my monthly real estate market update video. I get people from across the country and around the world reaching out to me every single day. So if you are even considering buying or selling your home, then you need to take the first step. Give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, however you want to get in touch with me. I have the systems and processes dialed down to make the transaction as smooth and easy as possible. I have your back when buying or selling property right here in Southwest Florida, and I look forward to seeing you on my next video.